Hi everybody. Well, we're going to do something fun, something that we haven't done before. We're going to be grafting some apple cuttings to some rootstock. Hopefully we'll get about 25 trees out of it. Never tried it before, so we're going to go through the process the way that we learned it, and we're kind of going to go step by step, so that'll be interesting, right?
Yeah. We ordered rootstock and then the different species or different types of apples that we're grafting onto the rootstock. So the first thing we do is we take the rootstock and you measure up about 6 inches, which is roughly a hand length, above where the roots end. And then
you show them the grafting tool you got.
Yeah, you mark this spot, which is between two buds. You don't want to cut right on the bud, you need to cut in between them. And then this tool, you have to get it on that spot, you have to center it correctly, and then when you do, you squeeze it, and what it does, that isn't the greatest. I'm going to make a different one, so that you guys can see what it actually should look like.
This is a special grafting tool that has a fancy little notch in it, and
Okay?
Sure. Okay. Why don't you show them up close?
You can see how it cuts. There you go.
So it's a fancy notch, so you get more surface area.
Right. That's the profile
between the
of it.
two stems that are being grafted on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got the rootstock.
We're doing Suncrisp. Okay, Suncrisp, which is a different variety of apple. And then what you want to do is you want to choose one of the cuttings that matches
the diameter.
Now, sometimes you can't match it exactly. So when we wrap it, we're going to make sure that at least one side is flush with the side of the root.
The cambium layer.
Right. Okay, so we're going to have to do the best that we can. And you want to cut in between two buds.
And let me have it, sweetie. The hard part is getting it centered correctly.
So now, show that. The cutting now has the exact same notch in it as the other rootstock that we cut.
And they line up.
So now you want to cut the top.
Right, now we count 4 buds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You cut between the 4th and the 5th. And then you put them together, you mate them.
Okay, now you're going to show them that it doesn't match correct.
If you can see now how they're joined. I'll spin it a little. There you go. And the cambium layers line up so they can grow together. The cambium layer is the outer layer where the bark is.
So let's do it close so they can see what we're doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Moose, you got to get out of the way, buddy. Moose, you got to get out of the way, buddy. The dogs want to be active participants.
So if you look really close, even though this cutting does not match exactly, we're going to make sure that at least one side is perfectly lined up. Okay, so there it is. Now here, not lined up too good. This side is a pretty perfect match. So we're just going to try and line that side up here. Okay, so you're going to hold that. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this, it's really just kind of like a plastic wrap that you can...
It's like saran wrap.
Yeah, and then we're just going to go like this. And, okay, you're going to pull it just a little bit, but you don't want to pull it too hard. I'm just going to make sure it keeps lined up. Now this is going to make it waterproof. So we want the cut part to be totally waterproof. So we don't want any water escaping the two cuttings. We want to keep as much moisture in the cuttings as possible. So make sure that one side is perfectly lined up. And we want the cambium of one cutting to join the cambium underneath the bark of the other cutting. Okay, now the next part.
Because we need those two layers to grow together.
The next part is we're going to use an elastic.
Rubber band.
An elastic wrap. And this time, why do we need two wraps? Because this elastic wrap is actually going to give it strength to keep the two cuttings together. So you want to keep it as tight as you can. And then you're going to have to kind of tie it off.
This is the hard part.
Yep.
At least for us.
It's almost like you're making like a knot on the top.
Oh, it's like you're tying the bottom of a balloon.
Right.
I think she got it.
Okay. So now we're going to keep this in a bucket and we're going to label it. And then what we have to do is on the top, we're going to put some wax, okay, on there so that, again, you don't want any moisture to escape the cuttings. Okay, so hold on for that. And this is just kind of a wax, a grafting wax.
Keep the water out of the top of it.
There you go.
And that's what it looks like from the top.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the bucket.
With water in it.
Yeah.
And then we'll label it.
Okay, so we keep it in a bucket. Right there. And we're going to do all the grafting all at once. And then when we are ready, we are going to plant it in some potting soil, because right now it's beginning of March. We really don't want to plant it until probably mid-April. So it's going to pretty much sit in a pot until we're ready to plant it outside. Okay.
You want to just keep the videotape running, and you can always speed it up. You know, do an accelerated
I might just turn it off.
with a remote.
Yeah, turn it off.
Okay. Here, where's that remote at?